Farmer Mike here, welcome back. I'm going to do another episode on the cattle and cow farm. They're all pretty happy over here. It's all come together fairly well. I've made it as realistic as I possibly can. And I've tried to keep the natural bush here. But sheep, I think it's time we put some sheep in. So this episode, I'm going to do some sheep. All the cattle are happy for now, they're all fed. So I think up here, except for some little detailing bits, I'm going to change these sheds. But I think for the most part, up here's pretty much finished. And I've put a little placement down. We've got our road maker here, and he's ready to come straight through in a straight line, and we've got our sheep pen in. And what's good about this one is it's using the exact same fencing that I use. So when I placed it down, I was able to put it right next to where my gate finishes, and it all conforms well. So I've started to do a field in here. It's just going to be grass. I'm going to extend it out a little bit more, and I'm going to put another field down here and extend this one out as well, and then I'll be able to cut through a road up here as well. I've got to get rid of that bit of fence, so I'll be able to cut through a road up here as well, which will take us into the sheep area. So we're going to have some sheep down here, and there's the cow and cattle farm up there, and I'm going to combine it all as one. Definitely not going to come down too much further to this road, because it's going to be just a small rural town, just a couple of little sales points, nothing big. I don't want to clutter the map with sales points, so I'll just make it really rural. Use some of the older stuff, some of the older sales points and that. But all we get with this is it's just a fairly large square field for the pasture for the sheep. So I'm going to seed this with grass once it's done, and I'll probably put the shed somewhere about here, and yeah, we'll sort of build it as we go during this episode. So I'm just going to send both of my workers off here, and I'm going to turn them around when we get to the other end, and I'll come back once this field's done, and we'll throw down some grass seeds, see what we can do about building a nice sheep area. Just completing this last little strip here, and then this field's done and we're ready to be cutting some roads in. I'll go and get the seeder, and we'll put the seed down and get some grass underway, and then we'll be able to complete the fencing as well. And we'll make sure we finish this off nice and square. Oh, almost. Just a little bit more, a little bit more, and that'll do it. I'll get these out of the way so I can do the fencing and stuff, and also got to go back and get some seeders, so we'll drop these off, and we'll just have a quick look. All nice and square. And we'll do, oh yeah, that bit of fence there, that's got to go for the meantime. There we go. And the way we've cut this in, like this, with the fence both sides, I'm going to do the same here. And I'll put a little cut through just up here so we can access this grass field. And when we come from the cow and cattle farm up there, I've cut this bit out as well, So we've got a little bit of a run through this side if we're down this end. I may cut some of the fences out here as well. I'm not sure if I'll put gates in them or not. I'm probably going to do another run or two with the plough just to widen this one out a bit more, just so it looks a little bit better. Then it's the same distance from our wheat field to this fence as what this fence is to the grass field, but the grass field we can take right out. So I think I'll do that as well before seeding. And got our worker underway here, getting out fairly close to the fence line. Sure he's going to be hard to seed right up to the fence line there, but it's a grass field, so that shouldn't matter too much. Boy oh boy, he's as close as ever I've seen. Just the tiniest bit of grass sitting amongst. That was an absolute fluke lining that one up. It just worked really well. Anyway, we're going to go and seed. Alright, the field's being sown now with grass. I had to take some of the fencing away to let these bigger machines have their way, but you can put these fences back on now. And yeah, I think I may do that just very quickly. We'll see which way the fence. Alright, so we have to go that way. We've already marked all these out, so up we go. This should just click straight on, dead straight. Lovely. And that one's also that way. So the fields are sown, being sown anyway. There's old mate there, just about to do something a bit crazy. That's that done. And we'll just turn this guy around. They always get stuck, the AI. They are useless. They're useless. Alright, this field's ready for a bit of fertiliser. It's got grass already sown on it, and I've got the other tractor just finishing the other field off. I'll let him go and fertilise this field. Did we make it all the way? We did. You always got to watch that. The AI have a mind of their own. So we're almost done. Just got this little bit here more to do, and we'll come back. I've got the cut tracker. We're going to run a track straight down here and straight down between these two fields as well, just like this. And we'll be back to do that. Let's hope this guy turns around all right. And a bit of fertilisation on this field as well. We'll come up and down the other side and have a good idea. I'm going to put a dam up the back over that way. I'm going to put my shed near that mound. Anyway, we'll come back and do that. Alrighty. We've completely fertilised everything. I'm going to put some fences in. I'm going to do a dam up the back there. And just over there I'm going to put a shed. So let's go and do that straight away. Now these fields are done, I can leave the fencing back up. So I'll just quickly do this. I'm just trying to show you step by step what's involved, and you know, it may not be much fun to watch, but if you can get a few tips of what I do, if you like what I do, then that's even better. So I think because I want these to be the same, I'm going to measure from here to here, which is 807 or about 805. And I'm going to do the same measurement this way, about 805. I'll make sure I put this straight. We'll give it a little bit more, we'll call it 825. Then I'll come up here and I'll do an 825 right at the end. Now that won't lock on because it's part of a pen, and we'll say collides. So 825. Just make sure that's straight. 825, make sure our fence is running the right way, and it's not, because we want the face in. So I'll start down from this end. Geez, they're long fields. And there's the 825 marker, and we'll take this all the way up here and nearly there. And there's our 825 marker. Take the centre fencing out both ends. That way we'll cut a track down here. Alright, I could come in if I wanted to be perfect and do another run up there, but I don't think it really matters, to be perfectly honest. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I probably will come back and do it, but we're going to measure from the end of the field now, right on the corner to the fence line. It's about 501. We'll do the same here. One more click, please. 501. 500 will do. And from the end of the field here to down to there is roughly 1127. So we'll come off this one. Oh, we'll come off this one. 1127. It's 1125. Move over one. All right. Fence is running the correct way. We'll hook that up. Alright, now we can cut a track down through here, and I deleted that marker. Of course we're going to round the corners. We're not going to leave them square like this. I'm going to curve them. I'll do that in a moment. And we get rid of this marker here. And we've got one more marker to put down. $475. I'm going to have to eyeball this one. One more. Yeah. Make sure that stays on the grid line. 475. The gate's running the right way. And we'll hook this guy up here. And we'll go up and demolish any markers that are left, which I'll go up that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put our corners in. And it's going to run that way, so we'll start from in here. I'll just turn it in a little bit. These don't have to be perfect. Just a slight angle on each turn. And that just rounds it off just enough. This time we've got to come from here. So that gives us a nice curve. And we've got to do the same from this side. And that gives us a nice curve there. And do the same up the other end. First I'll finish this fence, which we've gone the wrong way. Ooh. Can't have that. Everything has to be square. It has to be. Otherwise I'm just not happy. I don't think I got that quite right. $276. It's about 300. I messed up there. It's alright if you mess up. Because it's pretty easy to delete. You just don't get your money back. That's what government subsidy signs are for. Alright. Now we know that that's all square, so and we know that it's square right through that way. So 275. I just have to take one more post out because it's trying to lock onto there. That squares that up. Get rid of them two, and we should be able to square this off. Lock on, thanks. We can put our gates and that in anytime we want. That squared that off, and just to tidy it up now, use a bit of paint and some green texture. A little bit of grass out here is not going to matter. We don't have to make it super perfect. I've got a feeling I'm going to make a mistake here. Trying to paint on a straight line in this game is extremely difficult, extremely frustrating, but it's worth it in the end. I'll come, and then just to clean it up, we'll get some pasture grass. I like to move forwards instead of backwards, so we'll get the grass going this way. I am rushing it a bit. I'm probably going to make a mistake, but you get the general idea. A little bit missed there, but that's fine. Alright, round this off as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, and we will round this side off, even though that one won't be. No, we'll leave this one square. I'll be able to put a gate on there then. So just this one, back to decoration. Of course it never takes us to the gate we just used. We'll just round this guy off. That was a little too sharp. There we go, that one's rounded off. That will be the edge of the property. We'll put a gate just up here somewhere, I guess, on both sides. And now for the fun bit. I want to put a dam in here. Alright, we're going to put a bit of a dam in. I'm going to use wet sand just to do the shape of it. And I know that we've got to make room for the fencing on that side, so I don't want to approach too far there. So this is going to be this will go to a little bit of a cliff, face. And we'll bring this around. And something like that. So it's going to be a fairly big dam, but it's a rural area. It's near the side of a mountain, and it's collecting a lot of water each time it rains and when the snow melts. So it, to me, that's realistic. I want all the grass out because it looks horrible at the bottom of the water. I want the water to have a darkish blue tinge to it. So it's going to be our dam. And just to give it a little bit of shape. And we'll just bring this one out a little bit more and curve it around. Yeah, so that should look pretty good, I reckon. Go to sculpting. May as well open it right up and make it maximum. The square button will bury it. We don't want it super deep, or it's going to cost us every cent we've got. So I'll just grab the edge of that and we'll just go through and start to open it up. If you go too quick, you'll kind of mess it up. Working backwards is not really the best thing to do. I'll get rid of these bits too. I think this is going to look pretty good actually. I do. I've got to be careful here. So we want to just shape it up and around, but there's going to be fencing coming in as well. Turn this camera around. I don't want to probably go up as high as that. So I can come back in and paint the grass back on those areas. There we go. And we'll just get rid of this little island bit here. So we're nice and flush. The end of the gateway's here. So we're not going to approach on what I plan to do. So now we get the soften tool as wide as it goes and as strong as it is, and then we just get that red circle. That's the most powerful part. So get that in the middle, and I hold the X button down with my pointer finger and use my left and right thumbs to just glance it around. Now of course this goes up, it's going to be a bit of a cliff edge, so I don't want to get too far up here, just kind of about here somewhere, just to like sink it in a little bit. I don't want to go up that end of it. because I'm going to put all rock formation, big rock face there. And we're just going to make this blend in real nice, so there's no big wall like that. I don't want to encroach on my fence there, so this is pretty horrible looking on the camera, but you know, it's got to be done. As you can see, the grass falls into the water now. It's a nice soft blend. Slowly but surely, just blend it in. Even where the outside green line is, I don't want to go near the fence, because the fence will start falling away, and that's fairly flat land there. So when you're driving up and down, it's pretty flat. I don't want to encroach on that, so I keep the outer green ring away from that. Like I don't want to be doing it like this, you know, because then all of this area is going to sink down to the same level as here. So just be careful of that. These tools are good, but you just got to be careful what you do and be patient. Take it slow. As you can see, it's a nice real soft blend down to the water's edge. You can leave little bits out as well, like expose a little bit of the bank here and there, just flatten a little bit of it, like this part that I'm doing. And this one here is a little bit higher, so we'll keep this fairly flat. You just got to be patient with it. And I'll come back when I'm starting to detail it. Alright, so we've smoothed it all out now, and we're ready for a little bit of detailing. I'm not going to go overboard, I don't want to bore you all. It's something that takes a long time to do, so I just kind of, what I do, I just look around and I know that that's the high side, and we flatten this down to low level. So up here it's going to be fairly bushy with trees and that, right? So first thing, I go to plants and I get the smallest of the bushes. I usually like to use these ones first, and I'll just put a couple of rows here, just sort of sporadic. We'll only take it to there. Do a little bit out just behind it as well. Alright, and then I'll do the same with the light, with the different colour one. That just breaks the colours up. Sort of like in between, just, I don't know, just a little bit sporadic. Alright, now we'll go to the next size up, which are these medium ones. These are kind of just behind them, or sort of blending in with them, like that. Then I'll go to the dark green ones. If you overdo it, you can just use the the meadow grass to clean it all up. Now we'll use these smaller bushes. I put the brush out about one extra circle, and that just gives it a nice little buffer. So these ones here, 1, 2, bang, bang, just sporadic. And drop the brush size just to 1. Alright, and finally I use these tall ones and just kind of just get them just behind these big bushes, you know, because we got to put trees in as well. So we're just making room for some trees. And just kind of have it, you know, just so it all blends in. Wait until there's trees there, it'll look so much better. But that's just the basic. Small ones at the front, medium ones behind it, and then your tall ones up the back. And then of course you just put your trees in amongst it. When it comes to this stuff, this is sort of fairly sharp. So I'm just going to paint. I won't be much longer doing this. It's just a couple of ideas. I don't like this one, it's far too bright. So I'll go to the one next to it. There's two ways you can do it. You can either just completely cover it, alright, and then you could, like, say, use sand and use the circle and sort of like, it'll find its own groove. And then you can get the light green grass, which is this one, and you can sort of fill that in around the sand. You know, however you want to do it. You could also use some dirt. So let's get a little bit of variance in there. This is just one way to do it. And then you can go back to your plants and you can get all your smaller stuff. We haven't used these ones. Let's go with these. And then you can just painstakingly put them around the light green. Just a little bit here and there. And then go back to these ones, and this will help it all blend in. Oh, it's not that one. There they are there. This will help these all just blend in. It was that one. Alright, the colour codes don't seem to be working for me. You kind of get the drift. Well, the other way is very quickly oh man, I'm having a hard time right now. The other way is you can put it on a small brush and sort of run them down on 45s, sort of like across this way if you want, up and back, up and back, up and back. Have it running down the hill with the smallest brush. It'll all work itself in together. You go over it a couple of times, it'll all work itself in. And then bring it down from the top. Just do the top sections of it. Alright, and then you can fill it in with whatever you want, like let's say some meadow grass if you wish, and just put a circle on it. You know, scatter it through. The rock's the important part of the detail, so you know, that's the other way that you can do it. Or you can even use these smaller bushes, you know, if you don't want the grass there. So, you know what I mean? Like you can sort of make it barren, or you can thicken it out. You can do like whatever you want there, really. It doesn't matter, because all you'll see from back here is, you know it's a rock face, but that's beside the point. Anyway, we're going to go and cut some tracks in now. We're going to go dead straight through before we do any fencing. I'm going to keep it as straight as I can. We'll come down to here, to the edge of the fence line, and I'll also be making a track down here. So what I'm first of all going to do, get my painting tool out, and we'll just use this green stuff here. And this is their feed area, the gate. I just wanted to cut the track first, and then I can come back and do some painting around where everything else is. So back to plants, meadow grass, and I try not to get it in their food troughs because sometimes it's really hard to get it back out. So that's it, it's all ready, and then we'll come back and do some detailing. And yeah, I might just erase bugger it. I'll come back and detail that later. Anyway, I'm going to cut it in. Turn it on, fire it up, get it as straight as I can, and bang, get the drive line up and going, and just pray that we keep a straight line. It looks like we're going to come out to the right a little bit, so just a little touch left, but it's so difficult to keep this thing straight. So yeah, when I've cut all this in, I'll come back and yeah, show you. We're just cutting in now, and it's extremely difficult to keep this thing straight. So when you're driving along and you see it, it doesn't really matter if it's not straight. It just, from a distance, it doesn't really look the best. But when you're driving in first person, you don't really notice. You just see the track and you just kind of follow it. But it's a very difficult machine to use. And because the grid lines in FS22 are so close together, if you're not dead straight, or even if you are, you'll still grab little bits of the ones next to it and whatnot. But it's just what you put up with. So for these, I'm just going to turn this way a bit and shut it off. I'll try and retrace my steps. I'll come back a little bit further than what I was. Over a little bit, turn it on again, and then we'll just start making our turn this way and turn it off, and that sort of gives us the illusion of going both ways. Anyway, I've got to do the same up the other end yet. Now I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so the cutting in is done. It's all part of our cow and cattle ranch there. We've done the cut in there, so we've just cut the road straight through. So we join both farms together that way, and we've cut the road down to the main road through all the side street through here. That'll be Main Street through town. And so yeah, we've just done a bit of cutting in. Just have a quick look at that. I also took away, I just rushed it, so I just repainted that back. I'll spend some time detailing that to the way that I like it. But yeah, we've cut it in, made a track both ways, and we've got the cross point here. I've actually got to come back down, cut back through both ways here. It'll look like a triangle when it's finished. It just adds a little bit to it. When you're in first person and you're driving, you don't really notice the going off the grid line a little bit. It's just extremely difficult to do. I am going to fix this up as well. We're going to extend this grass field out a little bit longer, and I was thinking of putting a shed here. I was going to put another dam here, but I don't want to make it too many dams, so I was thinking of putting our hay shed here, which is this one, so that way we can pick up our pallets and be able to come through the field here, which I'll make a cut through. I'll probably make them all square. I'll probably cut through straight through here up the top end, so when you come in you can just start working the grass fields, and we'll have the shed over here. I think this way, so the longest part you can still drive in and out and turn around. We're going to be storing the pallets in here. We'll have a little turnaround area up behind this shed. So there's the edge of it there. I want to try and get it somewhere there and then square it up with the fence. And it's squared up with the fence, and probably about there. Now, I don't like how it does that, so landscaping, painting, I'll do all this painting myself. I just go with forest ground. and that gives me somewhere to start. And this doesn't have to be perfect because you end up blending little cut roads through it anyway, so it's just to take your eye off the concrete. It doesn't need concrete on it. So there's a shed. Implements will come up and run through here. We've got to get mowers and that in yet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be enough. We'll just run up here now, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter if they're perfect or not, it really doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll also put an access this side. Took 6 on that one. So before the grass grows, I'm just going to... Actually, I won't. What I'll do is have a little sleep, and we'll come back when the field has grown grass in it. And I might be able to catch it. The grass is rendering in. If you look, we just caught the edge of it there. So that's pretty cool. Grass fields are in. We've got our cut through, our fences are all done. It's starting to look like a farm. A lot of work to do yet. This is just the beginning. It takes hours and hours and hours of painstakingly non-stop. Just, yeah, the plans change and whatnot. So what I'm going to do now is, where I've taken the fences out, here and through here, I'm just going to do a straight cut through all the way. And I'm also going to, while I've got the road cutter in, I'm going to cut across here and cut across here, so it looks like, you know, it's a changeover area. So we'll come back and do that when that's done. I ran out of fuel while I was cutting, and I ran out of fuel, so I'm up here fueling up at the shop. If you come around the back of the shop and come up this ladder, if you don't fall off, and up the ladder, and you come onto the middle one here and jump up, and then run and jump. You got 20 collectibles on this roof, 50,000 each. It's $1 million if you collect them all. So I don't really use it, but just in case you didn't realise, no man's land, all the collectibles are on the roof, all 20 of them. 50,000 each, $1 million. So just fueling up, and that's enough. We're going to head back to the farm now and refuel the road cutter. And yeah, I ran out of fuel, so it's the price you pay. Just going first person. We'll see what it looks like as we turn into our little side street up here. Not this one, the next one. Should be here somewhere. We don't need indicators. And off we go. We'll go and fuel up. Just having a look in first person. We'll go up here and we get to have a look at what the track looks like in first person. And I was actually cutting through the fields here and ran out of fuel. So we're just going to cut through the open gate. Through these here, this is where I'm cutting through. And we'll fuel this fella up. I just thought I'd show that. Then we'll be back when I finish the cut through. fueling up at the moment. More fuel please, thank you. Don't want to run out again. Okay, I'll come back when it's all cut through. Alright, cutting in there's done. I've just put down the barn. That'll take straw, hay, it'll take bales, 1,000,000 litres. And I'm just going to do some cutting in. I haven't shown any cutting in yet. So we'll be coming from this way. And we'll just go inside here. I'll be able to do some detailing here anyway. And we'll just drive through here as straight as we can. And when we come out, we need to turn this way. And we'll just try and catch it on the out. The outer there, that's close enough. And we'll hook back up over to here. And while I'm at it, we'll also just cut in just a left cut. I just thought I'd show that just briefly. No big deal really, but you know, it all adds to it. And I just want to fix up this bit here. I really don't like how it looks. So back to the usual green grass. I'll cut it off here. Go up to our cutting. Be mindful not to hit my field. And of course put the wild grass back, the pasture grass. See if I can get rid of them without ruining the field. That was pretty lucky. So what I'm going to do now is just blend this in, make it become a track. We want this to angle up just on the outside of the track, and this one here I'll angle it up as well. And we'll give it a bit of a wettish look on the approach. And we'll start chopping some of this out, hook that up to there. And hook that up to there. Just kind of blend it in a little bit. Just so the road tapers, narrows through. And yeah, I'm going to send these guys out to fertilise the fields, and then I'll be back to finish the sheep farm. And that pretty much brings us to the end of the sheep build. So I've just put a gate here because this is where our machinery is going to go, and the mower and that be able to access the main road, which this will be the main street where the little town's going to go. I just put a cut-in track and a gate here so the machinery can get in, and it also adds to the cut through that we've put through all the fields. And we just got a feed barn, and just did a little bit of painting in this area just to scruff it up a bit, because the sheep are there quite a bit, their food and water's here. And yeah, we've cut it through. I'm going to go and detail all this and put some trees around the build now. Finish this cut in. I'll probably put a gate here, finish the property in there. And we got the barn down here, which will hold bales and hay and all that stuff down here. Left enough room around the back and fenced off the end of our property, so so we can use this for the town. town area, all through here, and use this as the main street. It's only going to be little, just a rural kind of area. And the sheep pastures, there's 2 grass fields, which is plenty for the sheep there. And yeah, so if we go through our cut-ins and past the sheep farm, past the big dam we just built, we chuck a lefty up here, and that'll take us into our cow and cattle area. And yeah, by the time all the detailing's done, I should be able to get it kind of somewhere looking similar to this. And yeah, I'm going to keep building this one and put the town in probably on the next episode, or I'm even thinking just finally before we finish the video, there's some nice little hilly bits just here in the original starting bit. Some sort of up and down hill bits, a little bit of grading. You can drive tractors along here through fences and that. I was thinking of probably putting some pigs in here, and keeping this is a potato field that's gone rotten, but putting pigs in there and doing a little bit of landscaping and painting, it looks really, really cool. So maybe I'll make this a pig area, a piggery, change it a little bit, but I might put some pigs in here next episode probably. We'll check it out anyway, but thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I'd rather hear your comments and see if there's anything I should or shouldn't do, or take away, or fix up, or add. I'm always open to suggestions. I like to build, and I like to share what I build, and hopefully some of you will get tips, and hopefully some of you can be critical and say you should do this or that or whatever. That's pretty cool. Thanks for the view. We'll see you later.